Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and tonight is episode 147 of my show. This evening, I have the incredibly talented and beautiful singer-songwriter Adara will be joining me. She was named a top 10 EDM vocalist by Trancepodium in 2018 and was featured on 46 Nashville Artists to Watch by Tuned Up in 2020. Her single, Moments with MitiS, has been streamed over 13 million times on Spotify. Adara, I am so excited to have this chat with you. You're an incredible singer-songwriter and definitely excited to hear about the upcoming projects that you have going on. Hey guys, how are you? Where are you tuning in from? And Adara is in the chat. I'm just going to pin her comment and then I'm going to invite her on in. Hi guys, hello.
Okay. Oh, my
Hi,
mic cut off. Let me fix that. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I love the vibe that you have going on. I feel like you're in a spaceship.
Thank you. I really try to make most of my life feel like I'm in a spaceship, so I'm glad you're getting that same vibe.
Yes, I just want to join you on this journey filled with sparkles and space and positivity and beautiful music.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm so excited to be on here with you tonight, so thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course. I'm so excited to have you and learn more about your musical journey and what's to come.
Yes. Let's dive into all of that madness.
Let's get into it. So I want to start at the very beginning of your life. When you were a child, what did music mean to you and how did that shape your childhood?
Music was a lot of how I connected with both of my parents. I have some really fond memories of singing songs to some of my mom's favorite musicals. She would always sing to me at night, and then I would also spend hours down in the basement with my dad dancing to his old records like the Rolling Stones and the Eagles. And I was in a lot of theater growing up, and musical theater, of course. Mm-hmm. So it was just a way to experience the human experience, and it was a way for me to emote. It was just something I always kind of did. So I really don't recall a time in my life without music.
Mm-hmm. That's gotta be so cool when you look back on your childhood and you're like, it was just everywhere. It was ingrained in my life.
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of my family doesn't really play music. They're not musicians per se, but luckily I just grew up with two music fans. Yeah. I think as close as they came to playing music as my mom did the flute and marching band in high school.
Very cool. So, okay, you said you dance around the basement with your dad to records. Do you have any home movie footage of you doing that?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm sure somewhere.
Yeah.
I just really have to deep dive. I mean, it's been just a while. Yeah. I mean, they're probably on some old camcorder tapes or something. So
yeah. I think it's so cool when you look back at home movies and you see yourself at 4 or 8 or anything young and you're just into the music. I think that's just so cool to look back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just cool to see that so much of your personality was probably already there, your predispositions to things that you loved and related to. So, I think that's where the whole debate of nature versus nurture comes in. And I definitely think I had a little bit of both, but I was always just very, very musical. So I'd like to think some of that was programmed into my DNA.
Totally. So what drew you to start making EDM music?
I got introduced to EDM music by a collaborator at the time who got added into a co-write at the last minute in Nashville. And he was a producer and he brought in a track and had done a lot of DJing and production work with other DJs and producers. And when I heard it, I honestly felt like I had been searching for those sounds my whole life and just hadn't been exposed to it.
Right.
And that was the first time that I actually combined another huge passion of mine, which was space, outer space. And I finally felt like I had the soundscape to include that passion in the subject matter of the song, and to really, you know, belt and sing this huge anthem. And yeah, after that, I was really just hooked. He introduced me to a lot and helped me to get my first collaborations with other DJs, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah, and I love that you brought space into it, because when I think of space and sci-fi, and I think of movies, or I think of just, I don't know, planetariums and stuff, I think of trance and EDM music. Like, that's that I think of.
You think of people like Moby and the song "We Are All Made of Stars," to go back to a little more legendary DJ. And
yeah,
it truly is. And it's funny that you say that, because I was kind of exposed to it when I was younger and didn't realize it. I was exposed to Moby, didn't realize that was a specific type of genre at the time, because a lot of what my parents listened to was rock and roll, or I listened to, you know, like Radio Disney pop music kind of stuff growing up. And so I went to a planetarium show with my dad at the museum, and they had just gotten a digital planetarium there, and it showcased these visuals flying through space and around the planets set to the music of Moby. And it was at that moment where I decided with my music that I had to have really strong, incredible, magical visuals to pair with my music. And I just witnessed something so powerful and so moving. So yeah, it's true. It's the perfect soundscape for space.
Yeah, and I like that you brought Moby into it as well, because I think sometimes, right, like you listen to what's on the radio when you're younger, because it's like, oh, I listen to classic rock because that's what my dad listens to, or, oh, my mom listens to Top 40 when I'm in the car with her, so, like, I sing along to that. But, like, to be in a planetarium and be like, this is gorgeous, and then you're like, oh, who's that? Moby? Don't know who that is, but, like, let me see if I can find out more about him and people that are in the same genre of music that he's in.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the songwriting. When did you start?
I was always writing little ditties, I guess. There's definitely recorded moments where I'd get little recorders and make up songs. They were not great. Like, I wasn't a child prodigy by any means, but it was just oddly somehow how I express myself. I always kind of heard melodies in my head, and but really fully formed songs probably started around 5th or 6th grade. And then when I got the electric guitar from my cousin who didn't want hers anymore in middle school is when I started actually kind of composing songs. And then beginning of high school, I had a couple that were really fully formed and had learned how to write a bridge, and I recorded my first small demo with some producers, local producers.
Very cool. So I guess, where has your songwriting, how has it evolved over time, like to present day?
It's definitely gotten more mature and more poetic. I've learned how to shorten my songs and say what I wanted in a more concise manner. I've definitely had songs when I first started writing that clocked in around 6 minutes, 7, were really slow. I wrote a song once for English class about Hamlet, and that's a very long song. I probably could have sped the tempo up on that one, but it's definitely morphed to including my passions about, you know, space. It's gotten more epic in the sense of deeper human emotions, because I've grown as a human being and learned to love deeper and hurt deeper. So it's gotten more anthemic and deep in that regard, just as I've grown as a person.
And I think the older you get, right, you go through heartbreak and friendships and jobs and traveling and touring and collaborations, and then you have more stuff to write about because you've lived a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and what's funny about that is, especially in the pop world, we see in this industry a huge push towards really, really young artists, especially female artists, but you've got, you know, like the Justin Biebers of the world, anything, you know, 14, 15 years old is when they really want to try to break these artists in pop. But for me, I want to use music to learn what it means to live life and the trials and challenges of that. And you learn that from people who have lived a little bit longer. You don't really learn the meaning of life from a 14-year-old unless they're like Mozart, you know? So there's obviously a place for that, but I think there should be more emphasis on older artists that have journeyed a little further, a little longer around the sun.
Yeah, because I think some of the best songs ever written are songs that come from difficult times, heartbreak and mental health and all that stuff. And yeah, at 14, what do you know? Like, you're just, I mean, your voice is changing, your body's changing. Right? So it's like, you don't even know what's going on. You're like, what's happening? So I feel like it's kind of like, you need to like have some experience with like real life and some heartbreak and some crazy times and get knocked down, because those times of our lives where it's like, we're at our lowest.
Absolutely.
I think you learn the most, and that's when the best writing comes.
For sure. And I mean, not to knock the teenager's experience at all. Being a kid is really hard.
It is.
Magical, but very hard. And there's obviously a lane for that. But just trying to open up an equally wide lane for different stages of life. I'd love to listen to music from somebody who's 80 and learn what they think about life and what they've learned, and, you know, and what's truly important. So yeah, I think we're in agreement.
I know you're really passionate about STEAM. And for those people who don't know what it is, can you tell them what STEAM is and why you're so passionate about it?
Well, what's really fun is for a long time it was just referred to as STEM, and it's an acronym, but they've added the A, which is awesome, for art, but it stands for science, technology, engineering, now art, and mathematics. So I love that they blended it together, because I've had amazing conversations with some scientists and engineers and even an astronaut about this, of actually how vital music is to science minds. It helps you think creatively and work through issues. It helps regrow brain cells. It's really incredible. And I'm seeing Andrew saying STEAM, love it. Yes, all the way.
Yes, Andrew!
Yes, I know. I'm seeing everybody's comments, so thank you. Please comment and keep commenting, because I see it and I love it. But for me, I'm really passionate about promoting STEAM to future generations, because I think that's so important to the future of humanity. That's where we need to be going. We need to be getting more kids in science and tech fields to further our existence here on Earth and beyond Earth, and into the atmosphere, into the stars. So.
Yeah. And you're obviously so passionate about it because you bring all those elements into your music, into your look, into what you're talking about. So it's like, it's not like you just like it. You tell everybody that you love it, and you show it within your music videos and your song lyrics, and definitely the outfits as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad that comes across. I have to give a quick shout out to McKenna. I see she says hi over there. Hi. Hope she's watching. But yes, for me, I grew up watching a lot of sci-fi with my dad, like Star Trek, huge Trekkie fan, Outer Limits, all that jazz, X-Files. Yeah. For me, it was the gateway drug into real science, if you will. It's like this magical world, and you go, oh my gosh, a lot of this is real, you know, like, which is just so exciting and fascinating. So for me, I try to always incorporate within my visuals and branding and music that element, so that maybe somebody who's watching it just falls in love with that whole world and goes to their library and picks up a book about space or robotics, or you know, and that starts them on that journey. So if I can help do that, then I've accomplished my mission.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool and how artistic you are visually and creatively. And it's like, and someone's like, well, I don't really know what that is or the vibe she's going for, but let me just like do a little bit more research into what that is. So yeah, it's kind of like you pique people's interest in, you know, the way that you're portraying yourself, which is so cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
What musicians inspire you?
It is a wide range. I really kind of listen to a little bit of everything. So U2, the band, the rock band, huge inspiration for me. When I'm songwriting, my goal is always to write a song that's so large and epic that I have to do like the Bono move on stage where your arms are wide open during the chorus, you know, it's just like full heart exposed, just radiating that feeling out. But I also really love Katy Perry and of course Lady Gaga. I love those two. I think they're so incredibly creative. I love the Eagles and the Rolling Stones for their storytelling and how they write their songs and their imagination. And then I love a lot of classical music too, or even movie scores. Yeah, so I kind of take it from a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I like that you said movie scores, because sometimes when you watch a movie, you're like, oh my gosh, I love the music that's throughout the entire movie. Someone mentioned Tron earlier, and I'm like,
yes,
I feel like you love Tron. Like you should live in Tron.
Oh my gosh, please, some coder who's watching this right now, figure it out. Put me into a video game so I can live out the rest of my life. Like I'm fully in. Yeah. DM me if you've cracked the code. Yes. Absolutely.
Definitely. And then Daft Punk did the whole score to Tron. And then when you think about Daft Punk is like, you know, like they're French new disco and they have such a incredible sound. But then when they scored Tron, it was kind of like a little bit down tempo and you're like, oh, is that Daft Punk? And you're like, yeah, but it's a different kind of Daft Punk.
Yes, that soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. And what's so funny about that is that together the visual and that music was just absolute perfection. It was so epic. And what's funny is sometimes when you just listen to the music by itself, it's still great, but it's never like the experience of watching it together. They really just go hand in hand so perfectly. Yeah. It transports you 1000%.
Definitely. Like I'm actually imagining myself in a theater by myself, watching that surround sound with the volume all the way up. So like my seat shakes. That's how I want to watch that movie.
Yes.
You know like by myself, don't talk to me, don't eat popcorn in my ear. Let me like be in that moment and feel that music and that whole energy. So I'm in Tron.
You should just try to watch it on a virtual reality headset. So it's like the whole peripheral, you just get enveloped in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I like music so loud that it kind of makes my body shake. And I know this is really crazy to say, but like, you know, I like that music and it just like, I hear that bass and it like shakes my whole body and just
it's like those 4D theater experiences where the chair would also move, or even 5D. I've been in those where they like put smells into the air. And
I've never done that. That's crazy. Where did you go to a place like that?
I think they had one. They have a few. I've been to a few, but the one that I'm thinking about right now, I think is at, is it Magic Kingdom or whatever it's called at Disney World, and it was like a Bug's Life ride. Yeah. Where you, like, as the bugs are moving, you'd feel them like they were under your, like, seat and crawling all over your chair, and they put smells in the air. I think there's, like, a SpongeBob one I saw once, too. Like, yeah.
Disney takes everything to a whole nother level. I mean, I know you spend your time between Detroit and Nashville. So I was like, maybe there's like a place in Nashville that I go for this, because I'm in New York and I'm like, I've never smelled anything in the theater except for like the person next to me.
Stinky people, yeah.
Yeah. But who would you most like to collaborate with?
I right now have a few people on my list that are all DJs. Ultimate would be collaborating with Moby, although I think he's pretty much focused on like running his vegan restaurant in Los Angeles. But I'd love to collaborate with Illenium and Alan Walker and Armin van Buuren.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could definitely see the whole Moby thing with you, because that was kind of like that would be a full circle moment.
Yes.
To be like, I heard you in the planetarium and you were the reason I got into this. And like, I think you and Moby just need to go for it.
I know, right? If Moby's watching this.
And Armin, because Armin heard one of your songs and then put it on his show.
Yeah, I've actually been featured multiple times on his State of Trance radio show and in his year-end mixes and favorite, songs. So I've had multiple releases on his label, on Armada. So it's just about time, right?
It is, because the thing is, he already knows who you are. Like, you're a step ahead of everybody else because he knows who you are and he plays your music. Like, he only plays good music.
I hope, yeah, I hope so.
Like, to be featured on his show, I mean, think of all the music he could play and then the music he does. So to have, like, multiple releases on his show is such an honor. So, like, I think your team and you need to just, like, shoot your shot at Armin and make this happen.
It's in the works. That's the goal. So yeah, wish me luck. Let's put positive vibes out into the universe.
I am manifesting this, and I know that for 2022 we are going to push Armin into your universe, and it's just going to pop off.
Yes, I love it.
So I want to bring it back to 2017, where you released your debut single, Oasis. I know 2017 is like, what, 5 years ago?
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Right. So when you're looking back on this, what do you remember most about this single and this time in your life?
It was really magical because I finally felt as an artist that I was a whole person, because I was combining my love of sci-fi and actually creating my special world through my music. And I got to make a music video. It's just felt so epic. It starts with me jumping through a portal, like, in the sand dunes that we filmed in Colorado. It was crazy cold though to film, when we were filming more up in the mountains in Vail. And that song was so funny because I literally wrote it, or most of it, we tweak things, but in about 5 to 10 minutes on a drive home. Yeah, and it just kind of came to me all at once, and it kind of just felt meant to be, it was just one of those magic moments.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes, that's like a record time for writing a song.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I had at least the verse, pre-chorus, chorus done within that time. I probably had to write a second verse or something, but it just, I actually was submitted, got a track from another DJ at that point, and was writing to his track on the way home. But then he ended up switching gears musically and released it back to me, and we reproduced it, which I'm so glad that it happened the way that it did, because it really started defining me in my artistic journey.
Yeah, because I feel like you've done so many collaborations, but then it's like, oh, it's Adara on her own. Who is she?
Who is she? And why is she jumping through a portal? Why does she have powers and connecting this orb, and bad men are chasing her? Yeah. And if for those of you who have watched the music video or are going to now watch the music video from it, make sure you also search for my origin story, because that explains everything up until the point where the music video starts.
Yeah, so guys, if you've watched it, you already know. But if you haven't, watch it after this video, okay? So you split your time between Detroit and Nashville. Can you tell us a little bit about your love for both of these cities and why you chose both of these cities to spend your time in?
Yeah, Detroit holds a really special place in my heart, because one of my biggest performances happened here at the Fillmore in Detroit, opening for Prince Royce. Cool. That was a magical moment for me as an artist, and just like a big, accolade performance-wise. So Detroit's really interesting and vibey and really creative. Yeah. Nashville's fantastic to hone your craft as a songwriter, but I do feel that for my style of music, that Detroit is actually more of a fit for me to build my community around. So it's been nice to open up that realm of possibilities to myself in a new environment.
Yeah. And I think it's cool that you split your time between Nashville and Detroit, because you get the both of best worlds, because sometimes when people stay in one city, they kind of limit themselves. But then when they're like, oh, let's maybe try a different city, it's kind of like, who can you collab with there? And then you said that you opened up at the Fillmore, which is amazing. Like, and it's so cool, because then all these other people get to know who you are.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds now that I'm splitting my time between both places. It can only go up from here.
Definitely, definitely. So I want to talk about you being an EDM vocalist. What are the pros and cons to being one?
Yeah, it's awesome because as a songwriter and an artist, it's nice to be able to collab with other artists who have built up their fan base and are a little further in their career, because it introduces you to people. And into a new audience, and they usually get a lot of label support. You get help with playlisting, promotion, PR. You get on these radio shows, so you kind of get this international exposure, as well as multiple other DJs playing your song in their sets in different venues. So at any one time, your song can be played to multiple audiences all over the world at the same time, which is super exciting. The cons happen to be that even when you're writing and singing the song and it's your voice, a lot of time the support, whether it's the venues or the audience, does go first to the DJ, and a majority of that goes to the DJ. So you don't always get the respect that you maybe deserve as an artist, because the venues are booking the DJs. Maybe you get to join them on stage occasionally, and it takes a lot more work on your end to educate their fan base that if they love your music, they should also take the time to come and support you and check out everything else that you do. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's important to also release your own music as an artist independently, but it's a little more difficult to get label support that way sometimes.
Totally. Yeah, I think it's great that the DJs, they can bring you out during their set, right? Yeah. But it's kind of like, guys, if you're at a show and a female EDM artist comes out and starts singing, look up who that person is, follow them, support them, like see if they have their own stuff out, because they might be only featured on one song, but it's so important to, support incredible EDM vocalists just like yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, if there's a song that really speaks to your heart, remember that the person singing it is also probably the person that wrote it and wrote those lyrics more times than not. So if that speaks to you, you should give your support. It's so easy to just go find them on Instagram and hit that like button. That can change things for an artist. I've gotten opportunities and also lost opportunities based on just the amount of followers I have.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's so important when you say, just follow someone, like them, add them to a playlist, say, oh my gosh, I want to go see XY DJ, but there's this one song and Adara's on it and she's amazing. She has all this incredible music out. And I think it's so important to get the fan support and be like, who is that EDM vocalist? Like, let me see who she is.
Yeah, absolutely. It just takes some re-education of that genre and the fan base, and it's starting to get better. It's starting to be a lot more fair between the artists and the DJs, with splits and profits and promotion sharing, but it still has a little ways to go.
And can you talk to us a little bit about being a female in the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of female artists can attest to this, that a lot of the people you deal with, especially on the business side or in production, songwriting, mixing, all of that jazz is heavily male dominated still, even at the labels, A&R, the decision makers. Right. So sometimes it can be a challenge when you're in a room to establish your power and get the respect and credibility that you deserve. I've just been in situations where my opinion is sometimes undervalued, even if I'm the artist and trying to decide on music situations, because I'm the girl. So it's sad. It doesn't always happen, truly. And there's a lot of wonderful people that I work with, both genders and guys especially, but it does still happen. So that's kind of the sad truth of it. I think even in meetings too, as a female artist, there's just a lot more work that I have to do to prove myself to someone, or there's usually more skills that I need to have. I need to be able to do more things. I need to also be able to, you know, look good and be fashionable and dance and, you know, maybe directing my own stuff, have really great photos, really work hard on my branding, have everything in place, plus be a businesswoman. So sometimes it just feels like there's a little more pressure to kind of be a jack of all trades.
Right, because you're styling yourself, you're branding yourself, you're doing your hair. Like some of these DJs that go up there, they literally, and I'm sure you know this, they roll up out of bed in some like...
Yes, they've slept in that shirt and they get on stage.
I'm like, not only is your shirt wrinkled, but you smell. Are you serious?
Luckily, behind the DJ decks, no one can smell them, you know.
Right.
And it's probably a sweaty, you know, packed crowd anyway, so...
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, in any genre as well, you see for the most part that there's not as much pressure put on the physical aspects of male artists.
Right.
Sometimes there is, and they got to work out and body build, and you know they've got that appeal that they have to do. But in general, I tend to have to put more time into my appearance before each performance or meeting. Otherwise, I've noticed that I just don't get the results I'm hoping for in those interactions if I'm not really well put together.
Which is crazy, because it's like I just wish the music industry would appreciate females more, because females, like, think of some of the females that you know in the industry or outside different genres, like they deserve to be supported and treated the same way as some of their male counterparts.
Yeah, absolute badasses. Yeah, we just, you know, we're getting there, but we just need to get to the point where it really doesn't matter and everybody's equal. You know, that's always a target that everybody is shooting for in society. But yeah, it's truly, it is getting better, but it still feels a little bit uneven.
Definitely. So I want to go to love and empowerment. You are one of these positive powerhouses, and I love that about you, because like your music and your lyrics and just your whole vibe is like love, positivity, empowerment. Can you speak a little bit about that and why that's so important to you?
It is important to me because there's been so many times where I've felt small or had a lot of self-doubt or been through some really painful moments, and obviously those are great learning experiences and they help you to become stronger. But when you feel like you don't matter or you're not good enough or you don't fit in, those are just so hurtful and they can absolutely consume you. And I write the music to build myself up and to build everybody else up who just feels like the underdog in the race, and inspire them to just embrace what makes them different and beautiful and unique and shine their light. And so I really try to do that through music, because it's one of the most powerful art forms on the planet, and it just hits you at your very core. And with that comes the responsibility to make a message that could positively impact someone's life.
Yeah, I love how music does that. Like you can hear a song and it just changes your mood, and you're like, oh, I was having kind of a crappy day, but I heard this song and it brought me out of it. Or somebody spoke lyrics and I really thought I was alone, and that person made me feel like I wasn't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so powerful. I've spoken with people who've literally told me that one of my songs saved their life, you know, from certain instances where they felt at their lowest point. So that's like, even if that's all I've done, you know, with my life, and that's the greatest thing, that's the best accomplishment I can think of as an artist. So yeah, there's enough darkness and drama and stress in the world. And for me personally, when I look at art or when I watch movies, it's kind of escapism for me. Like I want to feel positive and good and for my imagination to flourish and to just go on this adventure. So I try as best as I can to just keep it really positive and uplifting and talk about the deeper meanings of life.
I love that. So for people that are watching this, that are struggling with mental health, or maybe they feel like they're not good enough, What advice do you have for those people?
It will get better. And there's light after the storm, even when it feels like there's not. And I think some of the best advice is that you may not have the answer to what's going on in the present moment, but truly, if you let it pass, when you look back at it, you'll realize that those moments were really important and actually brought you to a better place if you can learn from it. Some of my worst moments in my life, I think, have grown me into the best parts of myself.
Yeah.
And the strongest parts of myself. So just stay with it and don't always believe what the world wants you to think or tells you to think, or what social media makes you think. Like, get out of that virtual world and just be with the people around you that love you, and surround yourself with good people, and just know that, like, you are loved by somebody and that you're so unique and you have a purpose on this planet. So don't ever snuff that out.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think sometimes when we go through difficult things, we're like, why is this happening to me? But like, I kind of catch myself and I say, this is happening because maybe in 6 months I will learn something from this. Like, this is supposed to teach me something, and I don't know what it means at this current moment, but I will know eventually what it was meant to teach me.
Yeah, and to remove you out of maybe situations or environments that really aren't meant for you can sometimes be really painful, to make you leave and change something.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about your style, your hair, outfits, the lights. I was telling you earlier, when I went through like your videos and your photos, I was like, I just want to dress like that. Like, I want you to dress me. I want to like roll up in.
I'll do it.
I want to go to the supermarket in like full glitter and silver. Like, I just came off of like a spaceship. You know what I mean?
I've done it plenty of times, and I can promise you that sometimes the looks you get aren't maybe what you're expecting. Like, for me, when I'm dressing, you know, in my favorite outfits and going crazy, you know, with my makeup or anything, I think like the red carpets are going to roll out and the whole world's going to go, oh my God, this is how we need to dress. Like, we've been blind, you know, let's change ourselves. But I most of the time get really positive comments. Especially from like young kids who come up and say they love my hair, and that just makes my day. But yeah, sometimes it can be a little much for people, but I really don't care, because this is me, and I've had some really great opportunities and interactions with people that only happened because they saw me across the room and noticed my outfit first. Or my style first, and that was the icebreaker to start talking to people. And usually, if you really express your personality through your fashion, you get a little unique with it, it's gonna attract similar people to you that like the things you like. So it's such a great way to meet new people.
Yeah. And okay, so tell me about like your fashion. Like, do you get it online? Are there certain stores you go to? Because like the stuff that you wear is so amazing. I'm like, I don't even know where to find like most of your.
It's just, you have to just be willing to surf the web a lot and type into Google about 1 million times futuristic fashion or space clothes, or like what would an alien wear, and then that's when it comes up. But I get it from a little bit of everywhere. There's some really great resources, but most of them are outside of the United States.
Okay.
Is what I've found. So European designers, you go to things like on Etsy, there's this really great store called Cyberdog in the UK. Occasionally I can find stuff on online stores like Dolls Kill or Fashion Nova, and they tend to be in, especially when you do like full body suits, or I guess they call cat suits, they tend to be in sometimes like the fitness realm of things sometimes that look a little futuristic, or the rave scene kind of clothing, or sometimes there's like printed cat suits that maybe were intended like as costumes, but I see it as just my daily wear. And then I also have created a lot of custom fashion. I've sewn some stuff and worked with different seamstresses as well to like put designs together.
Cool. I love it because I love the colors and the sparkles and the futuristic things. Like, I think it's the coolest thing. I actually, when you said like Halloween stuff, I actually went to a Halloween store. Wait, when was that? During Halloween, like 2021. And I was like just searching. And I found these, like, I'm going to have to show you after we get off this, but I saw like mermaid, like purple and blue leggings. And I was like, oh, those are so cool. And I got them. And I'm just like, I would totally rock those like on a Tuesday. Like, it doesn't even have any specific day. So like when you say like Halloween costumes in stores like that, like it kind of brought me to that, like those mermaid leggings that I got. And I love them. They're so
my gosh, I love that. And I hope you wear them well beyond Halloween.
Yes.
But I just saw Andrew commented and said, I dress up as a Power Ranger. Kudos to you. I wish I was a real life Power Ranger. 1000%. I'd want to be the pink Power Ranger.
Yes.
Like, they're the best.
Like we all want to be the pink one.
Oh yeah. Pink one is awesome.
What has been one of the most memorable moments of your career?
Okay. I feel like there's two that, you know, immediately come to mind. A lot of the most memorable moments have been just one-on-one messages between fans where they share something really personal and like what my music has meant to them, because I've been able to be an impact in their life, you know, which is just every letter like that, every picture I get of, like, I've gotten pictures where they say, my daughter bought a space book because of you.
Yeah.
All of those little moments are equally some of the most profound moments for me as an artist. And then the first time I got to perform my collaboration song called Moments with MitiS on stage and everybody was singing along. Yeah. That was mind-blowing for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be so cool when you're up on a stage and you're singing and everyone's singing with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like when it has infiltrated their lives. I've had people who have had it as their wedding song, proposed to the love of their life with that song. And it just, that just blows my mind that something that I wrote meant so much to so many people. Connected with them. I just feel like all of our hearts are connected. It's just the greatest thing. Really, with music, I'm just truly, and I think a lot of us as artists are just trying to reach out and feel connected to somebody. Totally. So yeah, that's been probably the best moment.
Yeah, I can only imagine what that's like for you up there on that stage and just seeing that, and you're like, oh my gosh, all these people I don't know are singing my song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Then when you can reach out and touch people, you know, from the stage and just hear their stories afterwards and meet people, it's this really powerful way to connect with a massive audience, you know, all at once. You just feel this energy. It's just a shift. It's crazy. It's magical.
Yeah. So talk to us about what's coming up. What can we expect from you in the next coming weeks and months? Collaborations, live shows, anything coming up on your agenda?
Some more collaborations are coming out. I have some performances coming up, although they're probably a little later in the year, in the fall at the moment, performing at a thing called Steam Fest in Alabama, which I'm so excited about. Cool. But I'm working on my album, which I know my followers have heard me say for a while, but it takes time to do it right. So just be patient. I've got some more collaborations coming out. I'm doing something really cool with robots, but that's like all I can say about it. And then I've also just finished up a movie script. So that's the first time I've ever done something like that. And that's being pitched right now, just about my experiences in the music industry and the trials and tribulations of that. And then really kind of the childhood life that creates an artist and molds that. And it's, you know, both filled with the adventures and then the real big heartaches that created who I became and the world I created through music and why I started writing music.
Yeah. Yeah. You were telling me about that earlier. I'm like, that sounds so amazing. You definitely have to keep us posted when this movie, you know, gets bought, because
Again, manifest it.
we're manifesting it. It sounds so amazing. And then people are able to hear more about your story.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited to share it. I really hope it is something that a lot of young people can relate to, artists and people who don't make music alike, of just overcoming your struggles and embracing who you are and letting that light shine, and making an impact on the world and facing those fears to pursue your dreams.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
So beautiful people watching right now, Adara, how can they support you in your musical journey? Like, what can these people do to support you as a musician?
Yeah, I would love for you guys to hit that follow button on Instagram. I just started doing stuff on TikTok too, so if you want to go over there, do that. But like, hardly, you know, just started posting on there, but I know that that's important now.
Yeah.
I'm finally embracing the world of TikTok, because it just, I really love Instagram. Like, she's my OG, you know?
Totally.
So yeah, if you could just follow me on Spotify, or add some of my songs that you love that speak to you to your personal playlist. You guys don't realize how much that means to an artist, and that you adding my songs to your playlist helps Spotify see me as a credible, popular artist, and allows them to add me to their big playlist that could totally change my career. So that would be my request if you have time.
Yeah, I definitely think it's so important when a musician says, listen, stream my music, but put it on your playlist. Because the thing is, like, and then Spotify makes their own playlist, right? And it's like top dance or whatever. Like, and then those playlists get played and they're like, I've never heard this song before. What is this? And then they look you up and they're like, yeah, you were on this playlist and it was just like so cool. So I think it's so important to add incredible musicians to playlists and support them and share their music and tell people about it.
Absolutely.
So that's all the questions that I have for you this evening, but don't go anywhere, guys. Adara is going to perform for us.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't, we were talking about this earlier. I don't perform a lot acoustically. A lot of what I do is in clubs with DJs, and for me, the production and the sonic world of a song is just as important as the lyrics. That's all a part of creating that world that I want to create. But it's been interesting putting some of these songs to guitar. So let me see if I can tip this down so people can see.
Yep.
The lights, camera, action. So the first song I'm going to play is a quick snippet of my song Mad Love that just came out. So on Swanda Music. And yeah, I guess I'll just go. I never know how to start my sets. You know? like, okay. People say it's overrated, feelings only complicated, but I traveled the whole world to make it. Mad love, I'd give up my own skin to feel you. 1,000 fires I would walk through. It's the kind of thing you don't get used to. Mad love, mad love. Tell me, are you feeling the hunger? Your magnets keep on pulling me under. My head, it wants to roll like the thunder, but I just can't get enough of your mad love. Ooh, 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 ooh. You surround me like a black hole. I could get lost threshold. You touch me and I choose to let go. Mad love, mad love. Tell me, are you feeling the hunger? Your magnets keep on pulling me under. My head, it wants to roll like the thunder, but I just can't get enough of your mad love. Ooh, 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 mad love.
That was beautiful, and I love the acoustic version of that.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It feels so strange to play a trance song on the guitar, but yeah, I'm glad it came through okay.
Yes, people loved it in the chat, and it's totally different from like a trance song to like an acoustic guitar version.
Yeah, but it's fun because you get to highlight the words of it, you
Of
know,
course.
the message. And it's just, for me, that song is just all about this culture, especially like with online dating apps, where we're kind of looking for quick fixes and not this deeper connection sometimes.
Right.
And that, you know, that's where it starts. People say it's overrated and feelings only complicated, but I'd travel the whole world to make it this mad love, this deeper, crazy, enveloping love, you know. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's fun to play that on guitar.
Yes. And what's your second song?
Okay, my second song is Back Home, which was a really popular trance collaboration for me, and the remix especially got a lot of support. It was played by Aly and Fila, this big trance DJ duo. Really popular, especially over in Egypt. So hello to all my Egypt fans. I don't know if this is a good time if you guys are awake and are watching this right now, but I'm actually... The first thing coming up for me within probably the next month or so is going to be a release of a 3-song EP of acoustic orchestral reimaginings of some of my collaborations. So on that is going to be Moments and Back Home, because those are very popular, been requested a lot. And then one of my personal favorites, Wild Horses, which a little bit of an OG collab, but I love that song and just wanted to see what it would feel like more cinematic.
Definitely. Very cool.
Yeah. So, okay, this one's Back Home. Take me home, take me home. In crowded room, I feel alone. City streets that never sleep. But sometimes what you need is a little bit of peace, and somewhere you can breathe. Remember back when we were kids, we'd scrape our skin, but we would keep running. And this old world would never last for long, 'cause we knew where we belonged. Take me back home. Take me back home. Take me back home. I don't wanna feel alone. Take me back home.
Yes! Thank you so much, Adara. That was
Oh, thank you.
in the chat. Loved it, love it, love it. Lots of hearts, love back home. Yes, yes, it was gorgeous. So can you show us that guitar that you got going on? Because I definitely want to talk about it.
Yes,
Beautiful.
this is my custom guitar for Martin. And real quick, before that chat leaves my eyesight, I want to comment on Andrew's this emoji. I think that was so fun. Thank you guys so much for all of the lovely comments and support. Like, it's definitely, as an artist, nerve-wracking to play your songs that stripped down, you know, and it just means so much that you've shown me kindness and that you love what I did. So thank you so much. But back to this amazing guitar. It's my custom guitar from Martin. It's my absolute baby. If the house was burning down, this would be what I'd run back in to save. This is actually an actual image from NASA, and it's the Whirlpool Galaxy, which is really cool, and it has a twin galaxy here. So actual image, probably from the Hubble telescope, I think.
Yeah.
On the inlays, it's all hand-cut inlays of all the planets. And yes, I included Pluto because Pluto deserves some love. I know we all go back and forth about it, but it needed to be on there. And then at the top, we have the amazing Martin logo and my logo, and they glow. And it's just such an honor to have my logo so close to theirs. They're a legendary company, been around for 100 years. Mm-hmm. And then we have lights, and it lights, and I have a little remote that changes the light patterns in here.
Oh my, that is the best guitar I've ever seen.
I'm a little biased, but yes, I would have to agree. And what's great about it is that even though I wanted something really shiny and really lacquered, which obviously for any guitar nuts out there changes the sound, it's going to be a little less warm than the traditional Martin sound with their natural wood that's not crazy lacquered. But even with all of that and the electronics in here, and it weighs over 5 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a guitar, right. It still sounds so rich and beautiful, and is the best acoustic guitar I've ever had and played. So thank you so much, Martin Guitars. This was the best thing.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Martin Guitars. That is so amazing. They should actually take that and do like a limited edition where they...
You're telling me. I know.
They need to say like, oh, we're going to make 50 of these, and it's just going to be like a limited edition, like drop.
I would love for that, and I hope that that's in the works. What's crazy is I picked up this guitar, and we had a lot of stuff in the works that we were talking about, and the pandemic hit, which just kind of wrecked everything. Totally. So hopefully we can pick that back up now that things are starting to get better. I don't want to jinx it.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess, hopefully.
So do you have some time for some questions from the audience?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions that we haven't already covered, shoot away. And again, I've seen all your comments, and they're so sweet, so thank you for participating this whole time.
Yes, guys, if you're in this chat right now and you have questions for Adara, please feel free to put them in the comment section below.
Yes. This is always the most awkward part, where everyone's like, you've answered all my questions. I don't know.
What does success mean to you?
Success, you know what's funny? I mean, obviously success means a positive impact on the world, first and foremost. Totally. And feeling proud of what you've done as an artist and proud of the work you've created. For me, I really do want to travel the world and share my music on a grander scale. Yeah. So my hope is that success would grow where I could create the type of live experiences that I've always dreamed of, that incorporate some augmented reality and technology, and like flying around the stage, and probably a big spaceship on the set, But I watched this movie the other night with Jennifer Lopez, the new one called Marry Me, on Peacock. And she said for her, it wasn't about the success or the fame. It wasn't about being famous. It was about the credibility of just getting the respect you deserve as an artist. So I'm hoping that I can feel that I can build upon that credibility, that I'm respected amongst my peers.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think credibility is so much more powerful than anything else, right? Because it's just like, oh, yeah, like we know Adara. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Seems like there's a lot of questions.
I know. Andrew wants to know, would you ever plan to come to Canada someday? He's in Toronto.
Yes. And now that I'm like spending half my time in the Detroit area, that's definitely a lot closer. I mean, borders and stuff have to open back up and stay open. So yes, that is my goal. I would love to perform in Canada.
What other instruments would you like to learn?
Let's see. So I do the guitar, the piano. I've learned a little bit of drums, which is actually another person's question as well. So yes, I do, but I'm not great at it by any means. Don't book me to play drums for your band, okay? Like you'll be sorely disappointed. But I would actually, I've always wanted to play the cello. That would be a dream of mine to be able to play. I've also always wanted to be able to play the theremin.
What is it?
The theremin. It's a very electronic kind of instrument. You play it with your hands. It's got these crazy wires. It almost looks like a TV antenna, and it goes, you know, it's kind of weird. Yeah. Would love to play that. And I also would love to get better at my accordion.
Ooh, accordion.
Yeah.
No one's ever said accordion on my show. I think you're the first.
All right.
Ooh, that would be cool. I would love to see you play the accordion and sing. That would be so awesome.
I saw Sheryl Crow do it before at one of her concerts, and honestly, she made the instrument look so cool, which I didn't know was possible.
Oh, she is next level. Oh my God, that's so cool. You should do that on TikTok. You should do like accordion and singing. That would be.
I'm horrible at the accordion right now, so. If there's like a trend of like shameful TikTok, then I could hop on that.
On TikTok, anything goes. Like the weirdest things go viral, and there's so much music to experience on TikTok. I'm telling you, anything goes. Like TikTok is one of those things you post like a 7-second video, and like, you know, it just.
I know you never know it's gonna hit. So maybe that was what was missing in my career, the accordion.
Andrew said, would you perform with Eiffel 65?
I would perform with like anybody really cool. And if you say they're cool, then yeah, for sure. I don't think I'm fully familiar with their music. Maybe I have and I just don't know. So I'll go back and check it out. But yeah.
If you could perform anywhere, where would you perform?
In space or on the first lunar base?
Ooh. I think it'll be so cool to see you play in space because that is like your thing.
Yeah, that truly. I would love to just have like a residency on the International Space Station.
Yeah, because everyone's been going, well, not everybody, but a couple people have been going to space. But it's like, no, don't tell William Shatner to go to space. Bring Adara and she'll have a full-blown concert and she'll live stream it.
Right? Although, I mean, yeah, actually send Captain Kirk as well. That's okay. Like, I'll give that a pass. That's approved.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could like maybe introduce you and then you would go into like the performance part.
Like Captain Kirk can be my MC. So yeah, that would be really great. And like my hype man while I'm performing, hands down.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect. Perfection.
Dave says, what's your dream vacation?
Ooh. You know, it's really weird. I've always wanted to go to Antarctica. Not really sure why. I've like had dreams about it my whole life. I hate the cold, so I truly don't know why. Some other places I would love to go to Egypt. I would also really just love to go somewhere, especially right now because it's winter and it's really cold in Michigan. Any beach. Give me a warm beach. I don't care. Some sand and a beach, I'm there.
Yeah, of course, because Detroit, I mean, I'm in New York and I know how cold it is during the winter, so I can only imagine how cold it is where you are.
Oh, I'm sure it's just, I mean, like, I'm sure we just, like, can't compete. We're both just really cold. Like,
it's too cold, but in a couple weeks, it's going to get a little bit warmer. And any K-pop artists or bands you want to perform with?
Ooh. I think Luna is really cool. I love Red Velvet's music. Oh my gosh, Blackpink.
Yeah.
For sure, Blackpink.
Debbie says, how do you like Detroit?
It is great so far. I have some family here and they're really amazing. So obviously I love that. I'm just a big sunshine person, and this area has about, 6 months of winter, it feels like anyway. It feels like infinity.
Right.
But I think it's only 6 months. But it just can get really gray and cloudy because of the lake effect. So that's been a little tough, but I'm excited for the change and exploring a new area and meeting new people and obviously performing in new venues. So far, Detroit is okay.
Mm-hmm. And and then in a couple months it's going to be warm and
it's going to be so amazing. Like I'm around a lot of nature. Nature's really important to me. So a lot of recreational areas and public lands and hiking spots. And I have a nice spot of land and I have a pool for the first time ever. It just needs to unfreeze so I can swim in it.
Yeah, I know. Because you can't do much in February, right?
No, it's like rock solid. So yeah.
What are your favorite 90s moments?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I would say I think they were in the 90s. I'm just a big Spice Girls fan.
Me too.
That would probably be the best part of that era for me.
I did not know this about you. So we need to talk about the Spice Girls because I'm going to tell you straight up. I saw them twice in concerts and I have all 5 Spice Girl Barbie dolls still.
I didn't even know they made those. I would have had all of them.
They did back in the day, and I bought all of them. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna get rid of them? You're gonna put them on eBay?" I'm like, "No, I'm obsessed with them." And I have because the Spice Girls, maybe back in the day, you remember they used to have little magazines. It was all Spice Girl stuff. I probably have 7 of those. I still have them.
Incredible. I clearly need to go back and talk to my mom about why I don't have these things.
Who's your favorite Spice Girl?
Well, I would say either Ginger or Scary Spice.
Yeah.
Especially because, I was obsessed with the Spice World. The Spice World, the Spice Girls movie.
Totally.
That bus was incredible. If anybody has watched Doctor Who, it's exactly like the TARDIS, massively bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yeah.
And there's aliens in it, so of course I'm all in.
Yeah.
But at one point they're doing rehearsal and she's wearing things that seriously look like the pants of a spacesuit.
Mm-hmm.
I have searched my entire life to find pants like that and I've never found it.
Wow. I think it's one of those things maybe you just have to replicate it and do it yourself or be hey, those are the pants I want, and then find a seamstress
you know what? Good point, because my aunt's a seamstress, so little does she know, but she's got a new job. Yes.
So I wanted to tell you that Mel C from the Spice Girls, I don't know if you know, but she has a pretty incredible musical career. She still puts music. She still posts photos. I would say she's
girl.
She's probably the most relevant one that's still in the music industry, and her music is fire.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. Her and then Victoria Beckham probably had the biggest careers after that I know of, but yes, posh Spice.
Oh, I can say we could
have Spice.
We literally could have just talked about the Spice Girls all hours.
That's what we should have done. Why are we talking about other things?
I know. Why are we talking about music?
Do we have any other questions?
What's your favorite meal?
Oh, okay. Favorite meal. Well, favorite food for most of my life is peanut butter. Anything with peanut butter, and I still obviously love it, but the crazy part is when I lost my sense of smell for 5 months when I got COVID, and lost part of my taste. It's never fully tasted the same after everything came back, which is a heartbreak for me. But besides that, absolute favorite food is sushi. In fact, you had asked me earlier what success means, and honestly, true financial success for me would be able to order sushi for every meal and not like check your bank account afterwards to see,
Oh my gosh.
to see if you have enough.
I'm so into that because I love sushi too. Like I could eat sushi all day long. And I know people are like, oh, that's so gross. I'm like, no. I love it. What are your favorite sushi rolls? Like, do you have like favorites?
Yeah, it has to have cream cheese in it for me. It also has to have avocado for me. And then I like the ones like the rainbow roll kind of things that have a bunch of just fresh fruit, fresh fish.
Yeah.
And then of course you got to have the seaweed with the rice on the outside. And then I like the spicy mayo sauce on it. It like mixed in with the eel sauce, which is really great. But I also love dessert sushi when it includes like mango or strawberries.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love sushi and like now I like need to have it.
I know.
We're talking about it.
So sorry.
No, it's okay. I talk about sushi all the time. I'm like, there could never be enough time in the day to eat all the sushi I want to eat.
Yes. Agreed.
So, Adara, do you have any final words for the room?
Well, I did see one comment. What's your favorite band and why is it Nickelback? Hilarious. But no, I do really like Nickelback a lot. Say what you will about them, but they're a great band. But yeah, final words is just, hey, one, I'd love for you to follow me on my cosmic journey on Instagram. Also, thank you, Ashley, for including me on your show. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I do just have to give you kudos because a lot of people won't ever see this because it all happens behind the scenes. But you are so incredibly kind and easy to talk to, but also so on top of your game. With everything you needed and so organized and just professional. And I really appreciate that. You're absolutely killing it. And thank you for all the work you do to put artists on here and let us share our stories and try to build our fan base and reach new people. So thank you. We need more people like you. You're so kind.
Oh my God.
You're doing what you're doing.
You're seriously going to make me cry because
my God. Don't cry.
So unbelievably sweet, and I deal with a lot of people, and working with you and your team has been so amazing. And like even having you on the show, I'm like, it just was so amazing. I had such a great conversation with you, and I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to do this and just be so open and honest about your musical career and everything that you're going through and all this fun stuff to look forward to.
Well, thank you. Seriously, it's been so fun, and we definitely have to do this again and just keep in touch.
Definitely.
Girls got to stick together, you know?
Girl power, Spice Girls.
Yes, and talk about the Spice Girls. We need to have a sushi lunch date where we talk about the Spice Girls and wear our space clothes.
Oh my gosh, I am like, I'm all about this. Okay, perfect. Adara, come back anytime. Like, I know you have a lot of stuff coming up, but please, let's keep in contact. Come back anytime. I actually have some of my shows recently, I've had people on second and third times because they talk about like EPs and albums and things that are going on. So please come back, stay in touch, and I will help promote all of your beautiful projects that you have going on.
Thank you so much. And whatever I can do on my end to help you as well, please let me know. And thank you. Thank you for everybody joining in and taking the time. I know there's a lot you could do with your day, so thanks for stopping by and commenting and supporting.
Adara, thank you for coming on my show. Guys, we pinned this comment. Please follow Adara here on Instagram, add her on Spotify, add all those songs that she has on your playlist, share the music, support the journey, and support good music. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Adara. And if you don't already, you're new to this, I'm Ashley Live. This is Ashley Live. And please make sure to follow me because I'm about to hit 150 episodes in a couple episodes. So thank you guys for supporting good music. Be kind, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.